The top three interventions that organizations can look at, primarily the first one being redefining and re-enhancing the jobs. You will have to step out the typical job descriptions and try to create jobs that are more interesting, that are more multitasking in nature, and the jobs that are more likable for people to perform, because if you're stressed out, you want to not do the same thing over and over again. The second being, you'll have to break the barriers of times and shifts. The more you bring monotony, the more you bring stress in a job environment, and therefore it is imperative that we rework, redefine and innovate the way we design our shifts, we define the timings, and we define the overall time setup in which our employees would want to work in. And lastly, this is now the time of workplace enhancements. Typical office setups, typical bench and chairs won't really work. You'll have to really make the office or the workplace a little more palatable for your employees to enjoy. You cannot try to create a distinction between work and home. Your employees should feel like home, and I think that's one of the way you can actually reduce the stress of a 24/7 work environment.
When you work across different time zones and with different geographies across the world, one is you need to be able to compartmentalize what you do. Make sure that you have earmarked time for official work as well as personal work. And secondly, be flexible, because it's not always possible that you will get the time which is convenient to you. So you need to be flexible to make sure that you're working according to the requirements of others as well as yourselves, right? So that's basically the two things that I found very useful when working in a 24/7 environment.
Three things that comes to mind when organizations should focus on to kind of drive policy and processes and systems to ensure 24/7 work requirement is met is, one, organizations should focus on designing the right manpower planning on what is the optimal level of manpower that is required to drive the 24/7 need of the organization is one. Second is to ensure that the mindset changes for people and especially managers on driving employees only on important and not make everything urgent. So that I think is second point which I think needs to be driven across the organization. Third is for employees also to reciprocate only to important, and kind of look at life in general and work only as a part of it. I think that will also help drive this initiative in any organization.